Okay, this video is on how to find the slope if you're given two coordinates. Two coordinates. Coordinates are just points on a graph. Remember, each coordinate has an x and a y part of the graph. So down here we just have 2 points on a graph, 2 coordinates. This is the symbol for slope. Slope stands for m, or m stands for slope. And then the formula actually is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So let's first, before we can figure out which one's x2 and x1 down here, let's label these. If these are 2 points on my graph, I'm going to label this the first point on my graph, and this the second point on my graph. If this is the first point, remember the x is always the first part of each coordinate. This is x of my first point, and this right here is y of my first point. Then the second point, this would be x of my second point, and this would be the y part of my second point. So I did step one. Step one, label my points. Step 2, plug them into the formula. So here's my formula. The slope equals, remember, m stands for slope, y2 minus y1. I put these nice parentheses there. x2 minus x1. And I'm going to just put the correct number in the correct parentheses. So the formula, once again, y2, hey, that's the first thing I find. y2 is 10. I found it. 10 goes into the first part of the formula. Then I'm looking for y1. y1, right there, that's 4. x2 is 6. I'm looking for x2 right here. That's 6. And then x1 is 5. So we did step 1 and step 2, plugged it into the formula. Step 3, we're just going to do the math. Do the math on top of the fraction first, and then do the math on the bottom. On top, 10 minus 4 is 6. On bottom, 6 minus 5 is 1. This is my slope. 6 divided by 1 is 6. So, for this problem, my slope equals 6. M equals 6. Remember, M is just a symbol. It stands for slope. Pretty simple. Let's try another one. Here's 2 points. If you remember the steps, step number 1, label our points. This is my first point, and this one is my second point. Now label the parts of the points. This is x of my first point, and this is y of the first point. This is x of the second point, and this is y of the second point. Remember, each part of the coordinate has an x and a y. The x comes first, the y comes second. The formula for slope, if you remember, was y2 minus y1. The y's were on top for this. x2 minus x1. So this is the formula for slope. The next step says just plug them in. So I have 2 parentheses on top with a minus between them, 2 parentheses on the bottom signifying each x with a parentheses in between them, a minus in between them, and I plug them in. y2, that's what I'm looking for first. y2 up here is 8, so I put an 8 in the first parentheses. Minus y1. y1 is right here. That's the 3. Plug it in. x2 is what I'm looking for next. x2 is right here, and that's a 6. And x1 is right here, and that's an 8. The last step is just to do the math. On the top, 8 minus 3 is 5. On the bottom, 6 minus 8. Be careful about that. 6 minus 8. If I have $6 and I take away 8, I'm in the hole. 6 minus 8 is a negative 2. So my slope is 5 over 2. Positive divided by a negative is a negative answer. So my slope for the second problem is a negative 5 over 2. We always leave slope in fraction form. Don't change it to a decimal unless there's decimals in the original problem. This is how you figure out the slope if you have 2 points. Thank you for watching.